Yo, what's going on, guys? So today I want to discuss about CHORD. CHORD is a character who will be coming out in patch 2.0 whenever Global gets that in the next couple of weeks, and CHORD is generally considered one of the most meta and probably the best character in the game, arguably for most of the main P5X cast, because what she does is quite insane. So in this video I want to briefly go over whether she's worth pulling for, and I also kind of briefly discuss what she does. So going over the most important parts of her kit, for the most part, you're going to be using her skill 2 and her skill 3, and obviously her highlight. So, alright, so starting off with skill 2. Skill 2 basically increases the attack of one ally and also becomes a co-star. Now, co-star is going to be pretty important because it's a buff that we'll talk about a little bit later. Now, the most important part, and probably arguably what makes CHORD, CHORD, is her skill 3. So her skill 3 selects one ally to immediately highlight, and when I mean immediately highlight, I mean like literally immediately. This does not take any highlight gauge, by the way, so you can have 0% highlight gauge, or this is say you have 50% highlight gauge and you use her skill 3, it automatically doesn't highlight, or you could choose which highlight you want to use, and they'll use a highlight, and when the highlight ends, you keep the same amount of gauge. So for example, the 50 highlight that I mentioned earlier, you're going to keep the 50% highlight, and then so you can basically like back-to-back highlight, which is pretty nuts. And it also increases the highlight damage by 90% when fully maxed out, and after that it does have a slight cooldown to when it could be used, but like in terms of like her skill 3, like you have to build up the little guitar stacks, which I'll explain briefly, but basically this ignores the cooldown entirely. So you don't have to worry about having the highlight cooldown. Like usually when you use a highlight, you'll have like a couple turns to wait for it to use it again, but with this you don't have to worry about that, which is absolutely amazing. Now her skill 3, or not her skill 3, but her highlight here, it basically increases all ATLUS damage bonus by 52.9% when fully maxed out for 4 actions, and also restore 10% highlight energy for each action up to 40%. So basically her highlight is a highlight generator, which is pretty crazy. So she can generate highlight energy, she can give you a bunch of attacks, she can give you general damage buff like damage percent, she can also give you instant highlight, which is pretty good overall. And the rest of it is kind of increases more attack for highlights, and pretty much just she can also be a healer as well, which is what this passive is, but that's not really her main focus here. But after briefly going over her kit, she is a very great character, especially for any P5X or just non-Persona 3 Reload character, because Persona 3 Reload characters work a little bit different compared to the P5 cast or any other character in the game. So overall, she is pretty good. I would say she is arguably, like I said, the best character in the game. Now as for like other things, like should you pull for her weapon? Her weapon is not necessary. I do recommend pulling for it, honestly, because it starts off her highlight gauge, it fills it up at the beginning of the battle, and once you have it, once you have dupes on it and whatever, you can get more just insane stats. So it increases her own attack, which she does scale off of, increases co-star's attack by even more, which is also pretty insane, gives you highlight gauge at the beginning, and also increases the attack of a highlight per highlight that you're doing. So like every time you use a highlight or a theurgy on another character, it increases their attack by 9.4% when fully maxed out. I'm not sure what the R1 or R0 version of this is, but it's insane. Basically it is really good. I would highly suggest pulling for this weapon as well. The 4-star weapon is fine. Like I said, you don't have to pull for the 5-star weapon, but it's one of those characters that she is so broken that why would you not already pull for it? So that's basically the basic overview over CHORD. She is fairly easy to build. There are also many different builds you can go for her. Like there's an affluence set, you can go for prosperity as well. It just depends on the situation that you want to go for. You can build her in so many different ways, and she can fit on so many different teams. Any DPS team currently out, when she releases on global, every DPS character can utilize her. Makoto can utilize her, Joker can utilize her, Yui can also utilize her, Fox as well. So she's just overall really, really good. So if you guys are looking for a character to pull, I would honestly recommend save for her. She is by far the best character in the game in terms of like global standards. But yeah, anyways, that's about everything that I really had to say in this video. If you guys enjoy Megaton content or any P5X content, then feel free to drop a sub on the channel. It'd be so much appreciated. If you guys are interested in joining the community or asking any questions, then feel free to join the Discord server. server, discord.gg/expresstrain. It'll be linked somewhere down here. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.